Live but recorded. It is the LineLocked podcast. Wait, okay. The official NDRL LineLocked podcast. Jeez. One of these times I'm going to get it all right in the right order. It is going to be done right.
My God, Chris. A lot more energy on this one, though.
Yeah, right.
We do these episodes a couple at a time, and the last one there was no energy in it.
Oh, there was energy, just not from us. Huh? Oh man, that last episode. If you haven't listened to it yet, you need to go back and listen to it. Troy Wilson on there, man. I think he's got stories for days, man.
What we should do is just like do you know how they have those 24-hour cameras that you can go online and just watch animals and stuff. We should just have a 24-hour camera with Troy just talking about stories. He has so many good ones, man. Yeah. And I had a whole list of things I wanted to ask him, and I couldn't get to it in our little.
We'll have him back on here. Yep. Today, though, for this episode, we've got none other than Michael Hope. He drives the Rat Trap 7.0, the Pro 7.0 car, and I do believe he's here right now. There he is. Hey, man, how's it going?
Pretty good. How about y'all?
Not too bad, man. We're hanging in there.
Yeah,
hair and a biscuit type of situation going on.
Yeah, we're both a little under the weather for today, shooting a couple episodes. But how you feeling, man? You doing all right?
Yes, sir. Pretty good. Just
looks like you got a helmet for every day of the week there, huh?
It's the Great Wall of helmets back there.
What's the deal with all the helmets? Do you need that many?
So, a lot of these were my grandfather's, and then from his years of land speed and drag racing, and then my aunts have some up there from land speed racing, and then I have one back there, and then my dad has his up there, and there's a few scattered around here still that we didn't have room to put up there.
I thought it was one of those deals where, you know how women have a different purse for every outfit. Maybe it was just a different helmet for every fire suit type of thing.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So before we get to you, let's talk a little bit about news and upcoming stuff, and you can interject anytime you want if you got anything to say about it.
Yeah. So the NDRL, as you guys know, if you're first time tuning in or you haven't heard the news yet, we're doing a 7-race program for the 2026 season. So the deal is the points are calculated on your best 6 races. So if for whatever reason you break and you can't make a race or you're on vacation, all you have to do is attend 6 to actually have a running for the championship. Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure.
Unless you're Jackson Mesamore, then maybe you only need like 4 of them.
Yeah. You say, depending on how well you're doing the other races, you may or may not have to do all 6.
We have done some beta testing with the Fantasy League, and it was interesting because I made it to where the point simulation made some drivers just not show up.
Yeah.
And it was a fight between me and JB Wood for number 1 spot. And it was funny because the drop, like we were talking about, it's going to be computer generated. You don't get to choose which one you drop, right? Well, my drop was 16 points and his was only 10.
Oh.
And because of that, he actually won the championship.
Oh.
So it's a possibility that you may actually have to drop more points and still lose. I didn't actually go into the math to figure out exactly how that panned out, but he won by 1 point, and it was because I dropped 16, he dropped 10.
Oh, nice. Wow.
Yeah, it was wild. I think he had more qualifying points or something. But nonetheless, you won't get to choose which one you get to drop. It's going to be your best or your worst event will get dropped, period.
Yes, yeah. And so, go ahead, man.
You won't show up for one. Does it automatically drop that one?
Yes, because it'll be your worst. Okay. It'll be whatever the worst is. So if you technically got 0 points on that one, so it'll be your worst to be thrown out. So when you're going to see here soon, actually you could probably already see it right now on the website of last year's, it'll show on the standings, it'll show included, dropped, and total. And for last year, we didn't drop any, so everybody's going to be 0. And for next year, the last race, it'll accumulate whatever they dropped. Uh-huh. So if you made all 7 and say you only got your show-up points and qualified, so you only got 6, but all the other races that you dropped or whatever, you would just drop 6 points. So that's how that works. The reason you can't allow a racer to choose is, for one, it's logistical nightmare for computer programming side of things. But the second is there is ways of, like, say your son could, if you were like a family type deal, you could give him the championship if you drop more points type of thing. So we didn't want to let that happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it has to be black and white.
What do you think about the 7-race series, Michael?
I think it helps us out a lot.
Yeah.
Because the August race we always end up missing because of Bonneville.
Okay.
So the point standings are a little more favorable to me this year.
Yeah.
So
you're still going to try to make 6 of them then, right?
Yes.
That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I think it opens up a new possibility for somebody to, if like in your case where you've always had to miss one because of another prior commitment, you are still fully in the running. I mean, you still have the same opportunity as everybody else to gather up as much points. You just don't have that extra race to throw out type of thing because you're already kind of throwing it out by not going, right? Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So another news, since we were already talking about the Fantasy League, we will be doing the listen, the 2026 Doug Dual SSR Racing Products Marksberry
Patsy's Fabrication.
Patsy's Fabrication Fantasy League. There we go.
Hey, that's how we had to get our sponsorships, boys. We couldn't come up with one good solid one for all of it. So it's going to be like one of those NASCAR hoods. It's got them all on there. But
yeah. So we talk a lot about it, but definitely, guys, if you're into the Fantasy League, football kind of stuff, this is for racers. That's all of us that's in the racing, as long as you are signed up by or a member by April 31st.
Is that even a date? Is there even an April 31st?
There may be not.
It could be April 30th. I don't know. I don't know if that's a real date or not. Somebody tell me. Is there 31 days in April?
Oh, hang on. I guess I'm going to have to look now.
Well, anyway, there'll be a cutoff date. It'll be on the website. Well, I'm going to make it very well known.
30th.
30th. Okay. I said April 31st on Troy's too. So I hope somebody corrects me in the comments. April 30th is going to be cut off. And all that is in order to be in the money, in order to win this sponsorship money that we got, you have to be a member by that date. That doesn't mean if you sign up later that you can't be involved with playing with it, but it means you're not going to be available to have the money. You're not going to get the money. So
and so just a shout out to those sponsors too. Doug Dual is going to give the grand prize money, $1,000 to win the whole shebang, and then SSR engine products, race products. They are giving us the $300 runner up. And then Marksberry came on last episode and is going to give us the $100 winners per race, which equals $700. So thanks to those 3 guys. And, of course, Patsy's Fabrication doing all the legwork on behind the scenes.
So that's $2,000 to win, and you didn't have to do anything for it.
Yep, basically.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Fantasy League? Is that something you're interested in, Michael?
I'm for sure going to take a look at it.
Okay. We ran beta testing on it, and it's going to be insane the amount of data that you can contrive from all this. Because between races, your price will go up and down, depending on how well you did the last race, right? So you have all that data. You have how many points you actually accumulated for all of the people that selected you, and how much that cost versus all those points, which is points per dollar or something. It's really cool. It's going to be a fun thing. And the beauty of it is you can be as into it or as out of it as you want to be.
Yeah.
You're still playing, whether you like it or not. You're getting a random roster given to you. And if, maybe the guy that wins the championship never even logged in. We don't know. That's how, when we beta tested, there were 6 of us beta testing, and none of us got in the top. Well, Vern got in the top 5 or something like that. But that was it. I mean, it was a random selecting drawing. Granted, the points was a simulated thing too. It was a random points thing. So you really couldn't, predict racing.
But I think it'd be fun.
It'll be a good time for people that are involved.
And in the rumor mill, I've been talking, I've been seeing on Facebook and stuff like that Edgewater Dragway is for sale or lease. I believe they've sold the property, if I understand the story correct. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. They sold the property to another company who wants to find someone to run the racetrack for the next 8 to 10 years.
I saw Max Reese put on there about he was kind of contrived the fact that he went and got an NHRA license for his son.
Yeah.
And now they're IHRA. So maybe they already have a lease agreement with IHRA.
Maybe. But
somebody that knows, maybe Jason Becker, if he listens to this, he probably knows. Comment down below or text us or email us at linelockedpodcast@gmail.com.
Again, I'm just going off of what I've read. And how sometimes things aren't accurate. So it could be totally wrong.
That's interesting. Michael, you got any input on Edgewater?
I think if IHRA took it over, I think they'd do a good job with it because they do great job. They did a great job at Columbus. making the facility nice. They're putting a lot of money into there. So I think you could see something similar happen at Edgewater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good facility.
My thought on it is a lot like, see, Muncie is an IHRA track. So I would think they probably wouldn't do any capital investment on a lease. You know, they own Columbus, so that makes sense for them to put money into it. You know, the whole thing about the IHRA, though, which Edgewater doesn't really matter because most people run 8th mile there anyway, but all IHRA is going to be 8th mile. So, you know, you got that going for them. With the exception of our races, they're going to make it. They're going to allow us to do quarter mile on those tracks. So that'll be fun. Columbus.
Yeah.
You had a good time in Columbus.
I had a great time in Columbus. Thanks, man. Yeah. Best time of my life.
Best time of my life.
Oh, well, second to being married.
Yeah, well, you got to say that. I think legally obligated to say that. All right, Michael. So what we're going to do real quick is we're going to go to a little sponsorship break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to learn a lot about you. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll see you in a bit.
Race fans, listen up. When it comes to protecting your ride and keeping the show rolling, SSR Race Products has you covered. These engine diapers are built by racers for racers and proudly American-made, designed with the sportsman racer in mind. Constructed from high-temperature material rated up to 1800 degrees, SSR engine diapers are built to contain oil, fluids, and debris when it matters most, protecting you, your car, and the track. They're NHRA approved, track tested, and trusted by racers and tech inspectors nationwide. So don't be that guy stopping the show and oiling down the track. Strap it down with SSR Race Products, because when it comes to racing, we've got you covered.
All right, man. We are back with the LineLocked podcast. Everyone, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel and comment. Send us some email, linelockedpodcast@gmail.com.
Love letters, anything. Or hate letters.
Anything.
Just we would love getting mail. It's like it's a highlight of my day when I hear the because I got the old ICQ on my phone.
Oh yeah.
Whenever I hear the and I know it's coming from the LineLocked podcast, it's cool. So.
ICQ, man, I heard that in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It makes me so happy to hear that noise. That Let us know in the comments if you remember having ICQ back then.
That was before Facebook and all that stuff.
That was probably before Mr. Michael over here has been born.
Oh yeah,
because I remember playing around with it in high school, which is 2000. So what year were you born, Mike?
99.
99. See, he was barely alive when ICQ was around. Have you ever heard of it?
Not that I know of.
Okay, it's a lot like AOL Instant Messenger. Same thing, but it was kind of like it's kind of the Android to the iPhone type of deal because everybody was on AIM was what they called it.
AIM, yeah.
And then they had ICQ. So enough nerd stuff. What about you, Mike? What's going on, man? Tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, who you are, where you're from, that type of thing.
Well, I'm Michael Hope. I'm from just south of Nashville, Tennessee, and I've been racing my entire life. You know, I was born into this. My grandfather, Ron Hope, drove the Rat Trap Fuel Altered and paraded it all across the United States and Canada. And then it's been to England, Germany, New Zealand, and Australia.
Wow.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
That's a pretty, that's got some pedigree.
Yeah.
So in that car, it's been the original car, obviously modifications here and there, but it's been the original chassis just.
No, it's been remade a couple times.
Oh, okay.
The original is allegedly out west somewhere, and they're trying to get it running again. I don't know where that's at. I've heard about it, but
you gonna be able to duke it out with them? Like, how's that gonna work? You can't have two rat traps.
No, they just want to make it like a show car, I believe.
Oh, okay. So it'll be the show car, and you'll be the actual race car.
Yeah,
that makes sense. And you run 7.0 with the NDRL, correct?
Yes, sir.
I got a gnat in here. Where the hell?
Yeah, there is some flying around in here.
It's the first I've ever seen. The weather warms up. Yeah. What's that, Mike?
That's a newer car. That was Ronnie Robbins' mechanical bull car.
Okay.
And we got it from Ronnie and rebuilt it.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff. Well, I say we rebuilt it. We were kind of forced into that because we went to the first race at Indy, first time in that car running somebody else, and it kicks the rods out in eliminations.
Ooh.
Yeah, that kind of sucked because I won that round too.
Oh, so first round, second round, when was it?
It was first round.
First round. That's probably the worst. Well, I don't know. You win in the first round, but blowing up. At least you won a round. Could have done. You could have blown up and not won. That would have insult to injury. I
Done it
suppose.
in qualifying.
Yeah. Oh, even that. Yeah, that's true.
Well,
too.
at least you got 5 points. Right?
Well, you qualified too, so you got 6.
Yeah, 6 points. Yeah.
Oh, and the elimination round, so it's 11. You got 11 points that round.
All right, 11 points that year. All right.
So the car itself, it's the Rat Trap, which is pretty well known. It gets magazine covers all over. I've always wondered, like, there's certain cars that always get the magazine covers. You know, like you got the Rat Trap and you got the Gas Hole. How do they always make these magazines? How does that work?
Well, you got to have a pretty iconic car. We ran a lot of Good Guys events, so we got in through that and National Dragster. We would always run national events as an exhibition car. So we met a lot of the photographers through that, and that's how that came to be. But just have an iconic car.
Yeah.
Make it iconic. Make it something that people are like, oh, wow, look at that.
Yeah. So quickly, because we kind of brushed over the fact that you're pretty young. You're 26 this year, I guess. Is that my 27 this year? So obviously you didn't start out in the Rat Trap because that's a little bit, a little fast. I'm assuming you went to some junior stuff because that would have. Nope. You did not. So
the 7.0 car is the first car I've driven competitively.
Are you serious?
That's just going right for it, man.
I was growing up. I was more interested in the mechanics side of it than the driver's side.
Okay. And like, how old were you when your first 7.0 pass? Like, when was that?
24.
Okay, so a few years you've been doing this.
Yes, sir. This will be my 4th season.
Okay, so you're pretty young to the game of the drag racing side as far as like the competitive 7.0 stuff. But prior to that, you didn't like have a car that went like 650s in the 8th or something.
No, I never did any of that. I started out on our fuel altar, just helping with the maintenance and all that. And then that evolved into me helping Tony Lombardi with the atomic rocket car.
Yeah.
I went with Tony a couple times, and then he introduced me to Bob Hilton. And Bobby gave me the opportunity to work on their nostalgia top fuel car. And I ended up doing the clutch on that car for a while. And then that led me to meet other people. I ended up being a clutch assistant on a top fuel funny car in the big show.
Okay. And
then I came home one time after an event, and I decided I want to drive. So
give me the fastest thing the NDRL has to offer. That's just wild. It's wild to me.
No, I've already got it here. Envision this. Okay. There's some guys standing around a car in the pits, going, scratching your head. We need a driver to drive the fastest car we got here. Here comes Michael walking down pit lane with his helmet in his hand.
Multiple helmets.
Or ride up on his Harley. He's got Days of Thunder. Cold Trickle, man.
Yeah. Here we go. I didn't know if you were going to go the Days of Thunder or you're going to go the what is the
Ricky
Bobby situation. Where
I just need a driver to drive this car. Oh man, that's great though, man. He went straight for it, and that's impressive, man.
Yes, sir. I went to, what helped me a lot was not only the mechanical part of it and understanding what the car does, but I also went to Frank Hawley's school, and I went through the Super Comp Dragster program, and then I went back and drove the funny car, and I have a nostalgia funny car license. That really helped me understand on making decisions at that speed.
Yeah.
So that's a big step there. See, that's the kind of evolution I was asking about, because the way you initially approached it was you just showed up with a fire suit and said, "Let me test out on this car."
I did. In the competition side of it, I did.
Okay.
But like in licensing and all that, I went through Frank Hawley's.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
Great program.
Yeah. Everybody that's went there and talked to me about it said it's the best thing they ever done as far as being competitive. And most of those guys are pretty competitive too. So
I'm trying to see when I can go back and drive the Super Comp car. You learn so much from his program.
Yeah. People don't realize how intricate how racing is as far as drag racing is concerned. it seems super simple. You line up and you let go of a button and you win. I mean, it's as simple as that. Really, it's a 1, 2, 3 process.
Yeah.
But there is so many steps involved to being competitive, like having good reaction times and how to stage a car and all the tricks of the trade, and particularly finish line driving is probably a lot of what they talk about. Even though we index race, we're still kind of in the same boat as bracket racers. You got to know where your competition is to make sure you don't break out type of stuff. So there's a lot involved that most people don't realize. And I know I'm probably talking to the choir here because we're talking to racers in this podcast. Yeah. But if some stray person comes upon this podcast on accident and doesn't know anything about drag racing, it is very, very complicated. And you're right. Having some base knowledge of the mechanics of how a motor and a clutch, or I'm assuming your power glide in the rat traps are, all that matters to know. You can diagnose going down track. If something's a little different, you could probably tell your dad or whoever's helping you what's going on. And between the two of you, I mean, you're a young guy, so we're pretty young into this sport too. I think we're probably about really the same. I mean, 4 or 5 years is all we've really done it. I just started at 14 seconds and a quarter, and you started at 7. That's the only real difference that we're talking about here.
Yeah, just 7 seconds.
It's a good story too. I thought I was going to turn the world upside down when I went there. I was going to have a 10-second car, and it turned out being 14 seconds.
Well, and we started there with the goal of moving up. So we've talked about it, about going and finding a fuel dragster to go rent and go make a couple laps in that, see how that goes, and possibly do 1 or 2 races in that. We haven't quite made it there yet, but it's for sure on the radar.
That's a big commitment because it's a pretty far drive to go to those races, right? I mean, that nostalgia fuel. I mean, you're talking across the country essentially. Right?
Oh no, we're talking about Big Show.
Oh, okay. Even bigger than that then.
A fuel dragster.
Okay, I got you.
It's a thought right now, but it's we're just looking at that.
Yeah.
Go rent a ride somewhere.
Right on. Well, I mean, the problem with going straight to the top is the next thing is just like the fastest. It's just wild to think that
empty out your wallet fast.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully you come from a pedigree of family that has a lot of racing in their blood, so there's you probably have spare stuff laying around you can make something go fast with, right? I mean, you talked about earlier about you had some Bonneville connections. Tell us a little bit about that, because you're the first person I ever talked to that done any of that stuff.
So it started with my grandfather's car. He has a front engine modified Roadster that has a twin turbo small block Chevy with a Linco in it, and it's gone 285.
Wow!
In 5-mile distance.
Wow!
And then my dad built his car in probably 2010, and it started off with a big block in it, and then it evolved into a LS, and then it had a Pro Charger on it, and then we stepped it up from there and went to 2 twin turbos on it, and that car's been 240s around there. And we have to go a minimum of 265 to get a red hat.
What's the red hat for people?
It's the 200-mile-an-hour club at Bonneville.
Okay, and you have to go 265 to get a 200-mile-an-hour club,
or more.
Oh,
it's a very prestigious thing out there. Yeah. So they look at the class and they look at what they think is a realistic number, and they set a minimum based off that.
Okay.
Based off
that makes sense.
Fast to get a record.
So, for instance, if you had a car with a small cylinder displacement or something, and you go out there and race, it may be at 200 because they deem that the difficulty to get there.
Yeah. So you have different classes. You have A's, B's, C's, and D's, and it's all based off cubic inches.
Gotcha. That makes sense. But if you just need a red hat, I could probably buy one of those for you a lot cheaper than going 265. I don't know, man. That's pretty wild, though. I've never been there. I've seen some YouTube videos about Bonneville stuff, and there's this guy named Stupid Fast Matt or something Super Fast Matt that does Bonneville. He does a little on YouTube. He does a motorcycle that's got like a Hayabusa motor in it, and he's been like near 300 miles an hour. So it's pretty wild. It's it's obviously nothing like drag racing in the fact that you're not competing against anybody. You're competing against yourself, and how fast you can push limits and everything else. But the mechanical side of it's probably pretty similar, with the exception of you got to run 5 miles versus a quarter mile. So longevity matters with the motor, right?
Right. There's, with our car, we mainly do just very simple maintenance on it. Check everything, make sure fluids are where they need to be, cool it off, just double check everything.
Yeah.
There's a couple cars out there, like the Ferguson Streamliner, where they do a full service on it. They'll break it down to the block and service it out there.
Wow. That, and you got to deal with the salt. I hear that's a problem.
Yeah, it's
Is there
like going out in the ocean.
Yeah.
It just gets everywhere.
I wonder if there's any slugs in Bonneville.
Slugs? And don't they die on salt?
Yeah, I was trying to say, people put salt on slugs.
Yeah, well, the images and stuff of like when they come home from the salt flats, like the RVs and stuff, they literally, it looks like, when you run through the snow and you got those icicles and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like with salt. Is that what you're yeah, I mean,
We'll set sprinklers up underneath all the trucks and trailers and just let them run for hours.
Easy.
And you still don't get it all.
Yeah, I'm sure you got some rotted frame rails and whatever vehicles you take out there, because you're never going to get it all out. But yeah, it's pretty wild.
Does snow stick to the ground in there?
I don't know if it snows in Salt Flats. Does it snow there? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, salt, because you're talking about roads and salt.
Yeah,
right?
right.
I don't know where Chris is going with this.
I'm just saying, you would think, hey,
Yeah, they're up in the mountains. They get a couple feet up there, I believe.
Huh.
I've never been out there when it snows. I've been out there when it rains. It rained on us one year, and it put like 5 or 6 inches of water out on the salt. We had to go drive out through it and get all our trailers and stuff.
Wow. Yeah, I hear it. The salt itself kind of acts like a mud, right? Like you could get stuck out there pretty easy from the stuff I've seen. I don't know a whole lot about it. I would love to sit down and have a beer with you one time and just talk about all that kind of stuff. But we're a drag racing community, so let's talk a little bit about that. The Rat Trap. Tell us what kind of motor, transmission, rear end, that type of stuff.
It has a 498 TFX billet block in it. They came from Coletta's. It actually came out of the Top Fuel car, and they had windowed it and repaired it, and they were selling it. So we got that as our replacement for our KB block that we blew up in Indy. And then it's got a power glide behind it. Big tires. It looks right with the big tire.
Yeah.
And then we've played around with some different blower sizes. We had an 8 on there. We went to a 14. And right now we have a 1071 that's working pretty good for us. We're just trying to find that sweet spot.
Was it a situation where 8 wasn't enough, 14's too much type of thing, or?
Yeah, we were spinning that 8, I think like 30% over. And then that 14, we were spinning it almost 1-to-1. We set that 14 up for the first time and went to Bowling Green. Our first run out, it goes out and runs a 672, and everybody's standing up on the line going, that was a little too quick.
Yeah.
So I'm down there like, we just set the world on fire, guys. Let's do it again.
Yeah. It kind of sucks when you're index racing because of that. But, 672, you could try to go 6.0 racing with it. I mean, you're going to be spinning it a lot harder to get down there. But, and unfortunately, our league doesn't have a 6.0 class that's full-time. We do have a couple races that run it. But, 7.0, it is a delicate thing. With my truck anyway, I spin it, I think it's 10% underdriven just to slow it down enough. And the problem with when you're real close to what the regular output is just a teeth or two. It overshoots one way or the direction or the other. It's better to kind of push one at 30% at least, to where the window is a little bit narrower on T size. But at least in my experience, I don't know if that's kind of the reason what you were doing or not, but it is very knowledge based and then trying to figure out what works for the car, because what works for you may not work for Robert Friels either. They run stuff that's worn out, so I doubt you do. Your car looks really nice. It's probably not worn out at all.
There's a Fuel Funny car driver. His name is Sean Bellamy. And he has an Altered. And if you saw his Altered, you would go, wow, that's a beautiful car. Yeah. And I've always wanted people to look at my car and have that same reaction. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I want to make sure everything's clean, it's polished, it looks well put together. I just want that image on people look at it and go, wow.
Yeah, no, you definitely got that.
Oh, yeah.
Check.
That's a beautiful car. Very beautiful car.
I can't afford polish. That's the reason I run what I got.
So our game plan is we come in off the track, we just slam the door and say, well, we'll see you out there next time. We don't clean anything.
No, when it rained the race before, that's when it got cleaned.
Yes, exactly.
It would be nice to have something that's super nice like that. And arguably, when you're racing an altered or an open cockpit vehicle, it means you're gonna have to take care of it more. You're gonna have to clean and everything else. And you're gonna probably put it in the trailer at night too.
Yeah,
we don't even do that. But with a full body car, yeah.
Wow.
So your first year out was 7.0. How did you do? That would have been 3 years ago. So 22. That would have been right after COVID hit, and we're probably just getting back into the swing of things.
Yes, sir. I finished number 6 in points.
Oh, good.
I felt as a rookie was a really big accomplishment, especially with how tough the 7.0 field is. So
yeah, for sure. Although it's the smaller of our classes, the problem is they're all good. You know what I mean? They're all good. It's hard to get in there and get a win. Levi Vandenberg kind of had that same thing. He came in as a rookie and he was able to win one race, the last race, and he was commenting on how tough it is. I mean, you got guys like Gordon Horn, you got Robbie Friels, Tony Lombardi. All these guys they're not there for funsies. They're there to win. So, and you got to show up with your A game. What kind of struggles have you, in your first couple of years, have you found that is kind of your Achilles heel if you want to give it up? I don't know. Maybe you want to keep it secret, but
I struggled consistently leaving the line, and just having that tight group of reaction times. I'd throw out a low teen and then follow it up like a 60.
Yeah.
First started out. I've gotten better in the grouping there within from the teens to the 30s.
Yeah. And that's one thing that you have to be that's what you're adding to your ET. So you got to get it down there. I've always said in our group of racers, you need to be in the teens and 20s to be competitive. And I personally don't want to go single digits. I think it's just too close. I don't know how you feel about that, but I think it's just a bad red light is all it is. But teens and 20s, you got to be competitive. Once you're in the 30s and 40s, you can still win. It's just going to be less. You're going to have less room to win at the end, the big end. So yeah, for sure. What kind of things have you been? Is it a reaction time issue you were having, or staging the car issue, or what do you think?
I think it was a little bit of both. Just taking time to get comfortable in that car. I don't have the amount of runs that all these other guys have. I'm still probably under 100 runs total in that car, so they just have experience on me.
Yeah,
and I get better at it. It's just, we want to go out and test a bunch this year and just get more laps in, and that'll help.
Yeah, I mean, staging the exact same way every single time will help, and then just practicing. Do you have like one of those old porter trees in your trailer? You can just practice letting go, and that's helped us. But the biggest thing is staging exactly the same every time, because we had a bunch of swings too. Now we've both been pretty consistent in the teens and 20s. But same with you. I would go out there and get a 002. And then the next lap up, I would stage it the same way, and then I'd get like a 65. Just all over the map.
Indy last year, I was doing great in qualifying, and then first round of eliminations comes up, and I threw out a 001 red.
Yeah, that's the worst.
That's a bad one.
The only thing worse is a 000 red, which I've seen. That's the only thing that's worse than that. But yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is if you're not consistent in what you're doing. And this is one thing that most racers, I don't know, I'm preaching choir here, but maybe they're not familiar with this, is like every track is a little different too. you got to set your car up just a little different per track because the rollout's different or whatever the case. So we use tire pressure and RPM, launch RPM stuff to adjust that. But in order for that to even work is you got to be consistent every time or you're just chasing your tail.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm glad you're starting to figure that out and getting some laps in. We always say we're going to test every year, and then we just show up at the first race. We'll test in qualifying.
Yes, exactly. It's exactly what happens.
All right. So this year, your first intention is to go out there and test, get some more laps in, and you're hopefully gonna get that reaction time figured out, and you're gonna be teens every time. What are you doing on your long game? The thing is like I tell this to all the new racers: our particular racing is extremely difficult, only because once you lose, it's single elimination, and you won't see that same race again for another month to learn from it.
Usually.
So what is your I mean, this is probably a Frank Holly school type of deal, but what is your finish line strategy to try to be competitive too? I mean, do you have one, or are you just going to run it out and hopefully you've made the right tune-up adjustments to make sure you don't break out?
So the way we're trying to tune the car is I don't have to look for the other person. It's as soon as you leave the line, foot down all the way, and it's going to run the number. And either you get there first or you're a little behind them, and we'll work it from there. But that's how we're doing the tune-up, because my dad, who is my crew chief, doesn't feel like watching the other person when you're going 200 mile an hour is a safe way to race.
Yeah, I would agree with them.
Yeah, that's
I don't think looking at the other person going 80 miles an hour is safe, to be honest with you. But it is part of the game. I mean, it's an unfortunate fact of it. So your strategy is to dial honest, essentially, is what you're saying, and just you're going to make the car set up to run the number. And
right.
And I assume if you don't see them at all, I hope to God you're going to let out. But if not, I mean, you may break out. But that is a good strategy. I think it's a winning strategy. Some people like to dial a little bit fast, just a little bit fast. They want to be able to do some decision making at the end
and hope that they remember at the end that they dialed a little extra in.
Yeah.
Well, me and him, we've done that, and he'll tell me, "Hey, you got a little more than what you need, so." You get down there and he's not right beside you or in front of you, lift, you know. But if he's there, run at the distance because you might push him.
Yeah. There's a lot of strategies. Our team has come up with like a 4-tier system of our decision making at the big end. But the biggest thing is dialing honest and you got to nail a tree. You got to be good at the tree, or everything doesn't really matter. Because if there's 20 numbers between you. That's numbers that you can't, particularly if they've also dialed honest and they're also real close. You may not be able to make that back up.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't care. I mean, Robbie, I don't know if he really claims that he can. I'm sure there's other people that are more cocky than him that say that they can see the difference between 20,000s. I don't know that you can, man. I mean, particularly a guy that has less than 100 runs in 7.0. This is no offense to you. I don't think you could, right? You don't feel like you could?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
for the longest time, I never saw another car in the other lane.
Yeah.
It wasn't there because there were other things to focus on.
Right. And with your combination, my assumption is 60% of the races, if you left the line at the same time, you're going to see them all the way down the track. When I say that is you got people like Gordon Horn Gordon and Larry Harlan, both of them have full body cars and they mile an hour a lot higher. So you're going to see them at the end of the track. But for the most part, you got altereds and dragsters. So you're going to see the race unfold together versus having somebody behind you you're looking for. So, that's the cool thing about 7.0 is all of them run the same. So what can we do to get more 7.0 cars? We need more people like you.
I think that's kind of tough right now with the economy and everything. I think it goes through cycles because you've seen big fields and you've seen it shrink down and then get big again. So I think we're just in one of those shrink down cycles right now, and I do believe it'll come back.
Yeah. Well, we currently have, I believe, 6 Pro 7.0 cars signed up, drivers anyway. So we obviously want to get that number to 20s, at least 20s or 30s would be nice. And then hopefully 75% of that show up. then we'd be doing pretty good. But we need 16 car fields. You know,
Yeah.
that's what we need. Do you have any friends that that maybe have a helmet and a fire suit?
Most of my friends are big into the street cars.
Yeah.
So they're just running around on those.
Mm-hmm. Totally different thing what we do, huh?
Yeah.
It does kind of suck in a way. For your car and 750, most of those cars almost have to be purpose built for our racing style. Because the whole no electronic fuel injection thing is a big deal. I mean, you got to love mechanical injection if you're going to be playing around with these things, going those types of speeds. But that's also one of those things. It's a little bit of a gatekeeping to where it's a little tougher, and you're not going to have, because I know there's people out there that have motors and cars that could run probably 750 pretty easily in a full body car.
Yeah.
And it would be nice to have those people in our group in order to pad our numbers. But also, I think you lose a little bit of something of the nostalgia of it if you don't have some kind of gatekeeping there.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I agree.
It's kind of a double-edged sword. Would you agree with that?
I think so. I think you need to keep out the people that can just go plug a laptop in and type in some stuff and it changes the whole tune-up. Mm-hmm. And keep it more of, hey, we'll mess with the grid a little bit, but we also need to do some stuff mechanically to this car to make it run the number.
Yeah, my argument for the grid people that say that it's too technology or whatever, the thing is with the grid, there's a lot of safety features. I know you and your dad are very versed in all the safety stuff, and I don't want to get rid of the grid out of my truck. I will if that's what they tell me to do, but I use it for a lot of reasons. It saves my motor. It saves, I've got a bunch of stuff in there that makes it safer to race. And I think by eliminating it, you're also eliminating a safety factor that I feel is pretty important. We already have with the mechanical injection, if the motor's not spinning, there's no fuel being gone through. So that's one thing that you could argue with the EFI side is you need that for that, but we don't even operate it. So I think the grid is a happy balance for what we do, because with the exception of like slew control, which we've outlawed, you really cannot go in there and type an ET and say, I want to run this.
Right.
And even with the slew control, it's not that accurate. It's not as accurate as the boogeyman in the room. It's not really that good. It's close, maybe closer than you could get by yourself, but it's not. It's not, I'm going to dial in a 7 flat and it's going to run a 7 flat. It just doesn't work that way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Besides that, I mean, you're still going to have to make those mechanical adjustments, pill changes, blower pulley changes and stuff. What's your strategy for ET? What do you change to change your ET?
We try and leave the blower alone and change pills. That doesn't really work that great for us because the car will go out there and run like a 708 and we'll change it like a 10th and it'll run a 690. Mm-hmm. It's just that it's just one extreme to the other. Mm-hmm. And then you start getting into all the computer stuff and, I don't know all of that as well as I know all the mechanics of it. So I leave that to the crew chief. And he tells me, hey, go put this on there, and I go put that on there, and he plugs the laptop into it.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can arguably make some adjustments in like timing to kind of move that around. But that's part of my argument of where the grid really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's just more buttons to screw up. It's more options to change to make the ET screw you up. You've got to have a system that works, and you got to stick to it with anything that you're doing here to make this work. If you don't, you're going to end up, like you're saying, go from an 08 to a 90 by one change, which turned into being 10 different things that you changed at one time, right? So, yeah. So your strategy is mainly pill changes and maybe a little bit of grid work to try to adjust where you're trying to go. But you try to leave your blower pulley the same, with the exception, I'm assuming, if we go to a different higher elevation track, you probably need to make an initial adjustment, and then you pill from there.
So we look at it like Bowling Green in the spring. We'll throw some different stuff at it. We'll make bigger changes there because it's just so humid, and Bowling Green in the spring is a difficult track to tune it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a difficult track to be at. It's usually hot and terrible, but I love it. That's my favorite race.
Get the seasonal rainstorm every year. Well, there were a few years we didn't get it. I was like, oh, this is nice. And then this last year, it rained out our last qualifying session.
I was impressed we were able to get it in that whole race. I did not think we were going to be able to get it in.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's my bugaboo race. So, like I just can't seem to win around at the reunion for some reason. I don't know what it is.
Oh, this is your year.
This is my year. This is my year. Hey, the beta testing predicted I was going to be number 2. JB's number 1. So
yeah, thank goodness.
And you weren't signed up yet, or you would have been in somewhere in that list. So you need to get your membership in.
Yeah, I do.
You got your membership in, Mike?
I don't believe I do yet.
You need to get on there, particularly between. Yeah, you only got maybe April, was it 30th?
30th.
If you want to be in the money on the fantasy side. So make sure you do that. All right. Well, at this time, I'm going to give you as much opportunity as you need to talk about any of the sponsors and your family, your crew, and everything. Thank them. And we'll let you get out of here after that.
All right. My dad and my mom are big supporters of this. Mom especially, because if she said no, then we wouldn't do any of this. And then Dad makes sure everything's safe in the car. We got some people that help us out. Buddy Hole is a great mentor for me. He an old 7.0 racer, go on the big show. I talk to Buddy a lot about, hey, I did this, and he tells me, well, you need to try and correct that. Foley Lewis Racing, they help us a lot. That's a back and forth partnership between us and them, which is a very great partnership. We're actually going down to Gainesville this coming weekend to be with them for the opening of the NHRA. Alky Digger, they help us out a lot. Logistically, help us get access to some parts and stuff, and just stuff like that.
Right, our Alky Digger's one of the best. We go to
them they are. Yeah. If you can't find something somewhere, go to Alky Digger. They more than likely have it.
Mm-hmm. I just spent $11,000 there.
Oh my goodness!
We've spent quite a bit there, and they're not far from us. So
I was gonna say you're right down there in Nashville with them. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
We need something in a hurry. We run up there and pick it up, and Mike's a great guy to know. His inventory is vast and covers a lot of different bases. Mm-hmm. So just a great person too.
If you ever go down there to see him in person, you may just pass right by the building. No, it's a house out of the middle of nowhere.
Not what you think it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in there?
Oh yeah. We went there a couple of years ago to pick up a bunch of stuff, and I buy from them all the time. So I know most of the guys. They're great people to work with. I can't complain at all. And with the exception, there's a few things I have to go to RBS for, but that I don't necessarily have to. It's just some things they have a little bit better price on. Not cheating on Alky Digger. It's just how it is. The majority of my business goes to them. So
yeah, Robin does a great job too on the thing that Mike doesn't have.
And it's amazing. Robin is she is way more knowledgeable than you initially think. She's extremely smart and all that stuff. And for the most part, you call her up and she can give you the answers that you need. And if she doesn't know it right offhand, she'll find it for you. Mm-hmm. So bunch of great people down there. We love them. We use them all the time.
Yeah,
definitely patronize them for sure. All right. You got anything? You got anybody else you want to thank?
I don't think so. Okay. I think I covered the main three.
Well, that's great, man. We appreciate you coming on and telling us a little bit about yourself. You're one of our 7.0 drivers. We need more of them. So we need to get the word out. You need to tell your friends, tell them to get that electric fuel injection off there and play with the big boys with the mechanical stuff. And let's try to get some more 7.0 drivers, whatever we got to do. We need to get that class going, that and 750. If they can't make 7.0, 750.
750, yeah.
So no big deal.
And even then, you could bump some of the 750 cars up a little bit because they're not too far away from that 7.0 number.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of them, but I think there's some that are using it as a strategy, the same way that I run 9 flat instead of 850 just because strategically it makes more sense. Those 750 guys, they're looking for the difference between 750 and 7.0 is several horsepower. And if you want longevity in a motor, that they may use that as a strategy of trying to prolong it, right?
We can just combine them and do a 7 1/4 class. Pro 7/4.
Pro 7/4. What's interesting too is we don't have any like double engine cars. How cool would that be? I wonder if you could make one run 750.
I don't
Are
know.
they legal? Are they still legal?
I have no idea. Are they or they're not?
Wasn't it Mike Brochet, our keynote speaker at the banquet? Then his dad had a dual engine.
Yeah.
That's one of his claim of fame.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to look into that. I bet you could make two small block Chevys go 750 in a 1,800 pound car. Granted, you just made it 2,200 pounds with another motor, but I don't know, man. That'd be cool. I would think that. I mean, you're talking about trying to make your car an icon. If you're the only car with a double engine, I think it'd be pretty cool.
Oh my god! I think we need to get out of here.
Yeah,
man.
we do, Mike. We're both slap happy. I think we both drank too much, probably NyQuil, DayQuil, whatever it took to get us through the day today.
It was a pleasure having you on
Yes,
here, man. And we look forward to seeing you run this season. Yep. And good luck to you on the 2026 season.
Yeah, we'll be watching for you. Maybe I'll put you in my fantasy list. You better do good though. Okay, don't be costing me money. Okay.
I'm gonna try. I got this habit where I'll do good a couple rounds and then I'll just throw it away.
Well, you call me up, text me, and say, "Hey, I feel like I'm going to do good this couple rounds, and then maybe I'll put you on the roster."
Okay.
All right, Mike. Man, we appreciate you having on.
All right, guys. This is LineLocked Podcast. Thank you, Michael, for being a part of the show today. And we're going to get out of here.
Thank God.
I know. It's been a long day already.
I'm so sick.
All right. LineLocked, we're out. See ya.